There's no
I am not a trained dancer by any mean, but I feel really good with my sweet moves. So I probably would because I'm not the trained dancer. I'm not going to bust out ballet. I'm going to bust out the Roger Rabbit. And that is.
He's probably like, girl, I made up those moves. Let me one you up. That's why I know for
literally did the kid and play on Friday night.
Hi, welcome to Life Generally, hosted by me, Jen Lofstrom,
and me, Jen Tran.
We are Gen Squared, and this podcast is about life as a Gen!
Yay! Hey Jen, how's it going?
It's a little calamity today, but nothing bad. Just trying to, get my bearings. How about yourself? How are you doing today?
It's doing pretty good. Today is a lovely Sunday, even though it's going to be hot. And
it's gonna be hot.
Oh man, yeah. I hate hot Sundays. Unless I'm a hot body.
Oh Lord. If I'm by the pool or something, I haven't even gone to the beach once this summer yet, and I live in a beach town. So
not even like walking by?
No.
Oh girl.
I was supposed to go to like a lunch on the water and then it got postponed. But yeah, I need to go down and soak up the sun and the ocean breeze.
Take Wednesday with you.
Oh man. Oh, she's crazy. Wednesday the pug is nuts. So I don't this is a little bonkers. We used to take our other pug, Pugsley, everywhere. Mm-hmm. And Wednesday, she just chews on things. She got a bottle of my lotion the other day. I don't know how. And then randomly she'll just decide to pee somewhere. So yeah, she's speaking of calamity and chaos. That's my dog. So
Wednesday to Destructo.
I know. I'm like, what's going on? But it's because she's like almost year 3, and that's when the pugs go through
their change
chews. Yeah. So I know, because my first Pugsley, he chewed through one part of every one of my pairs of Steve Maddens.
I would murder the dog at that point.
Yes. I was like, why didn't you just destroy one pair and not one of each of the pairs?
I feel like time for an exchange.
Confused because he's such a good dog, and then one day you just I don't know. But you know what? That's life. Life gets crazy sometimes, and that's why we have books and book club to escape from it, right?
Yeah. Speaking of book clubs, Besties, today's a special. I always say we always do something special. Well, today is a special book club. We have migrated to the contemporary versus your typical burning books.
Yeah.
Last time. So we decided to read the first book, Dungeon Crawler Cali by Matt Dinniman. And we have a Dungeon Crawler Cali fan expert. Besties, welcome Dungeon Crawler Cali. Woo!
Wow. Blurp, blurp.
Blurp, blurp.
She's legit.
Besties, you're in good hands if you know what blurper.
And if you don't know, then you need to stop and go listen to the book on audio or read the book so then you understand what we're talking about.
Because, oh my gosh, it is.
There's going to be spoilers, and that's okay.
So, speaking of spoilers, we're giving the alert. Spoiler alert. This is book club. We are going to tell plots, tell characters, but only on book 1. So this is contained to book 1. Besties of the series, we are aware there are 8 books. But we're just doing an intro, which is book 1. Spoiler alert. Okay. Jen, can you give the besties a little summary?
Yeah. I actually heard about this book from Dungeon Crawler Cali, who happened to be one of my amazing cousins. And she was talking about how this really cool book, and it's hard to describe and it sounds weird, but it's super awesome. And so that's the base of it. But it starts in Seattle, and basically there's a mysterious transformation that occurs through the world where anyone who is indoors, like inside a building, or under a roof, is killed. So they just disappear. It's kind of like the Marvel Snap, but they're actually there. You can see the bodies sometimes, I guess, because they talk about it. But yeah, so Carl survives because he was outside retrieving his ex-girlfriend's cat, Princess Donut.
Meow meow.
And meow meow. And Princess Donut you will grow to love. Princess Donut had jumped out the window, and Carl was only dressed in his boxers and a leather jacket, which sounds hot, but probably not that comfortable. And pink undersized Crocs. A robotic voice comes over the whole land and says that everyone in the earth has been seized for its resources, and that humanity can attempt to reclaim the earth by clearing an 18-level world dungeon. So, basically it is aliens take over the world, bunch of population disappears, and then you have to go play a real life video game to save the earth. And as bizarre as it sounds, it's really awesome. And I think it fits our generations and our age groups very well. So, it's basically like there's a government that runs over is the governing body of the dungeons, and the dungeon crawl is happening across the whole world. Everyone's competing against each other. Yeah, universe. And isn't it the world though? Because it's a universe wide.
Yeah.
But it's happening on Earth, but it's universe wide. So they watch it as a reality show, like Big Brother,
Gladiator style Big Brother.
Right. And crawlers and viewers the viewers will actually sponsor people to help them survive, which is also a little a la like what? That
Hunger Games?
Hunger Games, yes. Like my 40-something brain just like forgot Hunger Games for a second. All I could see was the cornucopia and them fighting each other. Like our viewers can see inside my brain. So you guys don't want to see inside there. It's all movies and music references.
So our main protagonist, which Jen has mentioned, is Carl. He is a Coast Guard veteran who lives in Seattle, who basically survives and is selected to be a part of the crawl. Princess Donut, the cat, which is the ex-girlfriend's cat, who's a Parisian cat for all of those cat lovers. Mongo, the donut's little pet, and system AI, Kill.
Yep.
We also have Mordecai, who is basically he's equivalent to their Hamish in Hunger Games. So their coach, their person that talks to them to try to strategize how to play the game. And
I think of him like Splinter from the Ninja Turtles.
Yes, how they describe him is Splinter. And then he does say it straight up, but for some reason across the books, Besties, I don't know why, but I find Mordecai so freaking sexy. Like
she does. She crushes on him.
I have a huge crush on Mordecai. It is so shameful. It's like my anime fangirl has became, after reading these books, I'm just like, oh my gosh, Mordecai. Woo!
If everyone could see you right now, she's also wearing the anime girl style headphones that have cat ears on it, so it all goes together.
We have Zev, who is basically their public relationship manager, and she's a fish alien. Odette, who was a former crawler and a host, so she's kind of like the Oprah Winfrey of this dimension. However, although she is a human, she takes her public persona as a different form, which is she wears crab-like clothing. And you have other crawlers, Brandon On and his brother Chris Andrews, who are handymen from Earth, who joined the crawl. You have Yolanda Martinez and Iman, who worked at the nursing home, and then you meet other crawlers like Frank Q, Maggie and Mai, who become the main bad guys against Carl's party. And then you have Li Jun, Li Na, and Zhang that Carl helps out. And we'll talk about it some more about these characters. But Jen told us how she heard about the book. Callie, how did you hear about the book?
So my coworker and my very fast bestie, Morgan, bought it. She picked it up randomly and she just put it on my desk at work and she's like, "Here, you need to read this." And I looked at it with absolute disdain. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, "Yeah, I'm never gonna read that." But I love my friend Morgan so much and I love to chat with her about books. So I was like, "All right, I'm gonna do this so we can have like a good lunch conversation."
Yeah.
And that's basically where my identity is now. So I am a crawler and people change, I guess.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Exactly. So
And you can't judge a book by its cover.
Yep, she was the first domino to fall. And then I influenced Jen. I was like, yeah. So Jen and Corey, you guys need to read this book.
Yes. He's going to read it. He hasn't yet, but I told him, I was like, it's the most feral, amazing book you've ever going to read. So, yeah.
So how I found out about the book was one of my book club friends. She recommended the book and I kind of was like, okay, but I wasn't like, okay, and then my best friend, she mentioned it when we were like on our way to go to a comedy show. And she's like, have you heard of Dungeon Crawler Carl? Like, it's really good. I really recommend it. And I'm kind of like, okay, that's 2 recommendations. I better read this. And how I read it was on Audibles. So, my gosh. How did you guys read the book? Like, did you Audible it? How did you consume the book?
My first pass on the book was the book that my coworker gave me. And then in preparation for this podcast, because I am a type A, I visited it in audio. So very enjoyable on both sides.
Oh, did you feel like it was a different experience between the two?
Yeah.
The cool thing with the book is they sort of itasticize, they bold, they make the font bigger, smaller.
Oh, okay.
The shift. It's not just like one font all the way through. And it's incredibly engaging to your eyes because you're reading the narrative and then all of a sudden it's like new achievement,
Oh, okay.
And you're like, ooh, loot boxes, open them up. Like,
yeah.
So, but then the audio, because Jeff Hayes is incredible,
Yes.
he really pulls you in that way. So I would say equally engaging both sides for sure.
Well, it sounds like we probably should do both then if it's a different experience for both. Like, and if it's both enjoyable, cool. It's not like when you read something and then watch the movie and are sorely disappointed by the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good.
Jen, how did you consume the book?
I consumed it via Audible also because I am driving hours and hours to and from work. So so that's how I consume more of my books right now. And I loved it. And the person who's reading it, the voice actor who's reading it, fantastic, engaging. Didn't you say that person does every character's voice?
Yeah. So when I heard, so I thought when I first heard the book, because I typically do Audibles as well, I thought it was a cast of people, right? And then when book 8 dropped, and I was all like, who is this, because I thought it was like this immersive reading, because like I was reading the Harry Potter series, the whole cast, it's like movies in your ear, right? Oh my God. Immersive reading is amazing. Because
even for like Brave New World, the one of them I listened to was immersive and had different
a whole cast people.
Yeah, it was like an old time,
radio show.
Yeah.
And so I'm all like, so then I like Googled something, or maybe the YouTube algorithm found me out, and it showed me him with the author, and he's all like showing, oh, this is, Carl, this is Princess Donut. And I was just like, this is one dude? Like, and also like, it was crazy, like how immensely talented he is, right? And so Jeff Hayes was all saying like, yeah, he kind of like was, in a sense, like how he closed this YouTube segment was like, yeah, my start was, he sounded like he was the janitor and he had like these voices in his head and the business in the back of his head. And it was all like, how can I do this? But he has a regular job to, to sustain, to live, and then he did it. And also like, the theater company that he started is called Sound Booth Theater. And you can find that in the show notes. This podcast is not sponsored by Jeff Hayes, even though Jeff Hayes, if you want to do a shout out to us, Life Generally, we are fans of yours.
And they have other recordings on there, and you can actually get this book directly from there if you want, instead of getting it on any other platform. Yeah.
So there are options, Besties, but we are not sponsored. But if, Besties, if you know somebody from their
Hook
camp,
us up.
Yeah, hook us up. Have them do a shout out. But yeah, when I saw him doing it, and his many voices, I was like, I cannot believe it. This guy is amazing. He is like a talent. He is a jewel, an Audible jewel. I don't know why he's not doing, and I'm pretty sure people are probably going to sign him for like animated series or whatever, because he's so talented,
Oh yeah, and he's adored right now too. So it's definitely more than 15 minutes of fame for him.
Yeah, for sure. And Callie, you mentioned Matt is going to do 2 more books after 8.
Yeah, so after he released Parade of Horribles, I'm only on book 4, but Parade of Horribles is the 8th. Mm-hmm. He said that it's going to be a 9th story broken up into 2 books.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so it's basically, he's like, I know the whole story. I'm writing the whole story together, but I'm going to release them in 2 books. And probably because some of these books are like 800 pages as you get going,
Yeah.
So just like, whatever, however many pages you want to give us, I'm here for it.
They're quick reads, though. That's like, you look at it and go, oh, I haven't read a big book like that in a while. And then you're like, nope, it's not a big deal. So, yeah.
Okay. The book opens with a near instant death of billions of humans, right? Then they pivot immediately into a dark comedy. So you have this like really crazy sorrow, and then this whiplash into like this weird world, this kind of funny AI thing talking to you, and then your cat starts talking. What do you guys think about that? Like how they like throw the readers in, let alone like empathy for our protagonist, Carl. Like, this is craziness. Like,
it's unhinged.
Yeah.
Yeah, unhinged is a good way to say it. I think like we're so programmed, like with a lot of the action movies, like cousin Jen, you mentioned Marvel movies, right? Like,
yeah,
hundreds, millions of people are dying in these movies, but that violence is very sanitized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like Star Wars sanitized. And I do kind of feel like here in this initial introduction, they do kind of sanitize over the fact that, millions of people have died. And if you were outdoors, you're the lucky one, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's how it draws you in without getting too dark.
Mm-hmm.
Although they do mention his neighbor.
Yeah.
Who had an unfortunate demise, but yes.
So for some reason, the demise of human race getting destroyed did not really shock me in a way, because yes, we are desensitized, but the talking cat part, when like a miracle happened, you have your cat that you lived with your ex-girlfriend, right, talking to you, like, what the actual F? Like, it would be equivalent to like my dog talking to me and be like, what the fuck? Like, you could talk,
I would have just been mad that my dog wasn't talking to me the whole time.
But... No, it's like, you can talk the whole time.
Like, why have you been holding out on me? I think, though, in the juxtaposition of this story, it's not the craziest thing that happens in the beginning, though.
Yeah.
Like, aliens are there, are taking over the world, and like people have disappeared and died. So it is very, I think that actually for me, created this suspension of disbelief at that point. For some reason, the rest of it was all normal to me. I was like, yeah, aliens take over the world, you have to go fight for your life. Yeah, it's just like, every action movie of the 2000s,
Yeah, in the 90s, for sure.
Exactly. I was like, okay. But yeah, once the cat starts talking, it's kind of okay, this is totally different.
Do you think that Carl's survival out of sheer accident or miracle makes him a chosen one, even though it's just random selection of like situations? Like, is he a chosen one?
What do you think, Callie?
Okay, so this was my most favorite topic to start talking about, is my boyfriend Carl.
Does your husband know about your boyfriend,
We
Carl?
talked about how I'd like to get Doug a pair of white boxers with hearts on them last night. Yes, he does know about Carl. So sheer luck, right?
Mhm.
Sheer luck in the beginning, just like any great heroes. I think there's always a little luck and fortune sprinkled in.
Mhm.
But the fact that he is my favorite male trope, which is a capable male. And I don't know if this is TM trademarked yet, but I'm about to get on top of it. A capable male, my friends, is like where it's at right now. We are inundated with all like the bros and women. We're just fighting for our lives here.
Yeah.
We want a capable man. So just for your besties, an example of a capable man, Ted Lasso,
Mhm.
Dr. Robbie from The Pit.
Nice.
And Carl, right?
Mhm.
So what's capable male? And I actually wrote it out because I had to really think about it. So a capable male is someone that he's not a savior. He assesses a situation, determines what role he can play in a solution.
Mhm.
And sometimes that means he's a hero, but also sometimes it means he steps back and he lets other people fill in with their strengths.
Mhm.
So you can kind of see that with his teaming up with the Meadowlark like contingent, basically his openness to like lock into being a caretaker for Donut, but also realizing, hey, she's got these magic missiles. She's got some things that I don't have too.
Mhm.
Right.
So he's my favorite male trope in books, movies, entertainment, the capable male. Let's like make this a revolution, friends.
I think you need to hashtag that for sure.
Yeah, capable male.
Yeah, because you're right. And I think that's why he is you can gravitate towards him because he's real and he's also human and not ego driven.
Like,
Exactly.
I feel that, okay, in the beginning, I thought Carl, because I was just like, one of the reasons why I wouldn't necessarily think this book was for me was because, like, oh, you have a male protagonist.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Is this going to be like...
Who's going to save the world?
Exactly.
You're like, okay.
Is it going to
And
be...
shock of shocks, he's a white male.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
know, exactly.
I've never seen that before.
And also he's like, former military, whatever, even though it's Coast Guard. But I was just like thinking, like, have you guys heard of the book Red Rising?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
I
what
have.
I thought Carl was gonna be. And I was like, oh, Carl is another level of hotness and, in itself, that's why I was just kind of like, wow, go Carl,
It sounds like you and Callie are going to fight over Carl, but that's okay.
I mean, Jen Tran, you're all about Mordecai. The way
I
you
know, I
feel
can't
about
cheat on
That's true.
Mordecai.
That's the way I feel about Carl. And I also think you like Mordecai because he's a capable, what we perceive in our sort of more binary society as male,
Yeah.
right? And he's capable. He's always got a plan. He's ready to take charge. He's ready to listen,
Yeah.
right? Emotional intelligence. We've got a little bit of a backstory that, they're still trying to kind of pull the onion back on that. So
Yeah.
That makes sense, actually. You're right. Yeah, we're all just looking for capable men.
So the relationship with Donut. Okay, so Donut being a regular house cat. But then when she goes in this transformation, you find out like she's like status obsessed and she becomes a sensation overnight. Like, what do you think of her arc is satirizing like vanity, influence, culture, or something else?
That's a good question.
I mean, I think it really is a representation of influencer culture. It's gotten, I think we're maybe reaching peak influencer culture now, just in general, because people are starting to push back on some of these, things.
Mm-hmm.
She's so obsessed with her status. She's not thinking about the next battle. She's not thinking about this. She's just looking for those quick, like, dopamine rushes.
Yeah.
And you kind of wonder, you think about other influencers, like, I don't know if you guys know who Ruby Frankie is.
Yeah.
It's like, at what point are you sacrificing your own loved ones for your constant craving,
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I love Donut. I love Princess Donut. And I think Carl's such a great foil to like pull her back into reality.
Mm-hmm.
So just as a parent pulls their kid off screens because they have no impulse control,
Yeah.
Exactly.
kind of pulls her back, which is a good balance.
Right. Keeps her a little level headed. I think it's interesting how in the book, like, basically the aliens and the dungeon crawl event. Everybody thinks of her as actual royalty because her name is Princess Donut. It's not just because people name their pets random names, and she acts very regal.
Yes.
and that makes me chuckle because I think about how many times you know a pet that has some name like that and you're like, oh, what if they actually were that way, right?
Or like
it's just
people who have
Yeah.
that type of name, like Princess, or like, you know how everybody always makes fun of the name Candy? She automatically, you're going to assume this person's going to be a stripper. I'm pretty sure there's Candies who are CEOs or, you know, powerful ladies.
Well, yeah, because a lot of times it's based off of the name Candace. So, and it's not so like, I don't know, your name is not all of you. So, yeah, but there's stereotypes, of course, of, you know.
But have you met somebody who's named Princess who turns out to reflect the name, or like something really ominous? You know,
I've met someone who was like named Portia, and I was like, okay, you know, just because like I know that that's like a sophisticated sports car, it's exotic and pricey, and she acted that way. But yeah, I mean, it's just like if you look at the 80s in Gen X, like the Heathers, right? Like they acted a certain way. They were very much the meanest of mean girls. And so, you know, it is like, it's not that far off to think like, oh, the princess, of course, is going to be a princess. Like she's already talking. So why wouldn't she be royalty? But I still got a chuckle from that nod. And anytime anyone who interacts with them is like asking like, oh, are you a princess of the world and stuff? And she's just like, yes, of course.
Which is so shocking how easily bought in this galactic alien society has, like, oh, you're the leader of this world, even though like you act like a 10-year-old. It's like she's equivalent to being like, you know,
her emotional intelligence is childlike for sure. And I think maybe part of that is also because of the fact that one, she hasn't, you know, pets don't live as long, and then two, like this is the first time you're hearing her talk and being personified. So
there is a piece of me like, okay, so she's been, what do you think her approximate age is? Like not in cat years, but like how long they've owned her? Like 4 or 5? Or is she 3 to... Because she's not 6 or 6. Callie
has had a cat, is a cat owner in the end. So she...
You know, I kind of feel like maybe 5 or 6, only because they're saying she's a show cat.
Yeah.
So they can't have a show cat. Like, I think they need to get at it, like Jen, you were saying about Wednesday. Oh, she's getting into her 3rd year of terror, right?
Yeah,
like, and like, so, you know, cats are going to go through their thing. So I was sort of feeling like 5, 6, like kind of like a early middle age.
Yeah. Because that's what I was all thinking, like, okay, if she is childlike, because she's finally able to communicate, right? But the other piece of it's like, yes, she's a middle-aged cat. Shouldn't she act more mature in a sense? And it does linger. There are some parts of it where even like all the characters have mentioned, like, because of her mental, emotional intelligence, that she can't handle the big stuff. Like, so it sounds like she's like kind of like, you can't tell Donut really deep stuff, even though she's already aware of it. You know, like people don't give enough credit to Princess Donut of her emotional intelligence, even though it's like the whole, you know, influencer culture, even like to a point where it's like, because she referenced so many things of the 90s television shows, reality TV.
Right, because she watched those TV shows when they were gone.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it is so funny when she just referenced that, and then she tells Carl, like, get with it. And then you're just like, and like in my head, I'm all like, do I know this show? And I'm all like, Gossip Girl. I hate the show Gossip Girl. I watched a couple of it, and I'm like, I cannot believe they're referencing Gossip Girl in this book, you know?
And there are people who like live and die by Gossip Girls. So, you know, that makes sense. Like it's part of the culture. But, you know, for me, I kind of envision her as like very Paris Hilton-ish when Paris Hilton, before Paris Hilton, you know, grew up and now she's a businesswoman.
The simple life Paris Hilton.
The simple life Paris Hilton. Yeah. And like Lindsay Lohan and like, you know, they're the Hollywood elite, and aren't being held accountable for their actions.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I envision Princess Donut. Yeah.
So what do you guys think about the relationship between Carl and Donut? So in the beginning, it really felt like it was a built annoyance to each other. And
Very
then,
begrudgingly.
Yeah. And then it turns out to be something later, like later on, it's like more affectionate, you know, like there's a different power dynamic between the two characters, right? It's like, personally, I don't know in the beginning, why would Carl save Donut? If she didn't talk, I wouldn't give a shit about my cat at this point, because I'm already...
Oh man, you are so hardcore.
Yeah, I'm my world is gone, you know. I'm put into a Hunger Games like world. I don't, you know what I mean? If Donut didn't talk, I would have been like, please, whatever, eat the cat. I want to survive.
Oh Lord. Baby.
But okay, your dog, because you have a relationship with your dog versus what if your dog like was a terror and you're just like, man, I've been dreaming about getting rid of this dog for years, or your pet for years, or whatever.
That's like, we joke around about Corey's oldest dog, who's like a shepherd mix, Betty. She's like a gypsy dog. She adopted him. She just showed up one day and never left. And so we say that she just is hanging out with us until she finds a better place. So she's very blasé. She doesn't really care about us. She wants a pet once in a while. Other than that, she just wants to eat and lay down. And one day she'll find another family that she wants to go hang out with, because she's just, you know, she's free flow.
Yeah.
Very Stevie Nicks-esque. And that's Betty. So, you know, they all have personalities. But I do feel like, to me, we have always, because one time Betty got lost for like 6 months, literally. She wandered off and she didn't come back until she ended up in an ice cream shop, and people called her up and called up Corey on his birthday and were like, hey, your dog's in this ice cream shop. And he's like, what? So it's so bizarre, but it's so, you know, of course, like, that was up in the mountains, and Sam was like, I knew Betty could fight bears. I was like, oh God, Sam. He's like, but in reality, she was wearing a different harness, and she had just found a different family to go shack up with, is all that has happened. But Sam said she was like, you know,
Betty's
out there
a
like
floozy. That's what it is.
She's like he thought she's a wilderness wild dog, but in reality, she's just going wherever anyone's going to feed her food and hang out with her. And so, you know, if something happened, we all talk about that one day Betty's going to disappear again, and like, she's going to figure out how to get out somehow, and like, she's going to go live her life. You can't stop a rolling stone. So I think that in this dungeon setting, Betty would be doing her own thing. Betty would not be helping us.
Yeah,
it quite
sounds
frankly.
like Betty would hightail it out, but like
Betty would handle her shit.
Jen, Corey, peace.
Yeah, peace out. Right. Whereas Wednesday and Blanche would be like, please save us, because you know, everyone's gonna want to eat us. Yeah, but you know, pets all have different kinds of vibes and stuff. But I get it. Like, if you're fighting for your life, like, how long? Even in the book, when they talk about all those people that are coming from the retirement home, right?
Yeah.
Like, and those people are trying to save these people from a retirement home. And like,
yeah, but that's like a human thing, you know, like there's a piece of it. Like, at first when they introduce, sorry to jump over, but like at first when they introduce the people in the retirement home, I felt in my head, this is for me, like, it's a human to human connection over rando pets, you know, like of course my natural instincts would be helping humans to survive because they are of my kind, right? If it was a blockade or like a group of aliens, I would question, should I help these people? You know, like, there's no established relationship. I don't know if they're coming out to terrorize me, type of deal. And
well, there's so many deadly alien created like characters and different kinds of, I guess, what are they like bosses? Like, in a game they would be like, they're not
they
the
would
big
be
boss,
bosses or
but
NPCs
and NPCs and like, some of them in my head, even though they're not described that way, they're like Goombas from Mario, because that's what I relate to. Weird little things that are fighting you. So, you know, it's definitely got that. There's just so much different to it. So you're not going to trust some thing that's all put together and fighting you. But
yeah,
you do
Callie,
want to
what
have
do
it.
you
There's humanity.
think about like the relationship?
I feel like you guys, the Meadowlark and then the relationship with Donut, they kind of speak to a very similar point, which is in trauma, we tend to cling towards what feels normal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So Carl and Donut, a relationship of obligation.
Mm-hmm.
Is he sore from his, B at his ex-girlfriend B posting the picture with the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And then that's typical kind of male response of just like, well, you can't hurt me. Meh, and your parents are going to come and get this cat, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the plan, is that he's been waiting
Yeah.
for the parents
Yeah.
to get the cat. And so relationship of obligation, but then as he is forging into unknown territory, it's like, I'm going to cling to what feels normal to me.
Mhm.
Same with the Meadowlark contingent, because we have the brothers, we have Amani and Yolanda, right?
Mhm.
And they're kind of clinging to what they know as normal.
Yeah.
And I can only speak to, we all have our own personal traumas and our own certain responses, right? To
Mhm.
things. Like when my dad died, I needed to have his watch because the beep was iconic of him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does it make sense for me to have that watch on my dresser? Not really. Especially my husband's like, this thing beeps every hour. Seriously? It's like, oh no, this is clinging to what is normal to me. This is
Mhm.
like, I would walk into his house and if it was the top of the hour, beep,
Yeah.
And so that is such a normal, like a coping in trauma, which is essentially what they're all walking through is trauma.
Right.
And the idea of then bridging over to Meadowlark, like, does it make sense for Carl and Donut to help Meadowlark? Shouldn't they just be focused on their own survival? And I love it because it pushes against the trope that humans are garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we are so inundated with all these stories about humans just being absolutely wretched to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But it's like, no, I'm pushing against that. There are good people, right? There are people who want to help and see the greater perspective, and then you have like the opposite, which is like the Maggie, Maya, and Frank Q. It's like
Oh,
they
yeah.
sort of went into the more monstrous side of things.
Yeah.
And in like 8th, 9th grade, I read a book, and it was a Twilight Zone episode. Monsters Are Due on Maple Street.
I read that too.
Yeah, aliens descend upon a neighborhood,
Mhm.
and essentially all the neighbors, the paranoia turns them into the monsters. The aliens don't have to do anything
Mhm.
because humanity will eventually tear itself apart.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so I love that Donut and Carl staying together as sort of like what the romantic girlies would call like endgame, but then pulling in these other contingents to be like, no. And it's not a spoiler necessarily. I don't know if he says it in book 1, but he says, you will not break me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Carl
Yeah,
just,
he says that a
"You will
lot.
not
Yeah.
break me." Like,
Yeah.
you, like, basically you can do every horrible thing to me, but you will not take away my humanity. And I just feel like so incredibly solid moral compass. Again, capable man, like get me a fan because I'm enjoying the capable man trope.
Yeah. And it also, when he's saying the you will not break me stuff, you recognize like that's like things are coming at him, and he could easily become like Frank and like people who are just doing horrible things, but he will not let that happen. And that, I don't know, I just love that feeling, that fury that he has against letting them make him become the horrible human being. I think it's just really, because I think we all are trying to do that right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, how much news can I listen to and still be educated and read and still be aware, but also not want to like jump off of a cliff? So you have to like,
or turn on the other, like really fast.
Yeah.
So the part when they meet the Meadowlark people, and Donut was kind of like, I don't even deal with these people. So at this point, I am Donut. I know for a fact I'm Donut in this persona when they meet these characters, but at the same time, I'm all like, Carl does mention a lot, and I think this is like even throughout the series of the books, like he does admit I am not a good person, and I think that's like always like reminding,
he's flawed, that's okay though.
But just like I think he's telling, or the author is straight up telling the audience, it's like, yeah, this character, even though right now he is doing some good, he's trying to normalize, he's trying to have these connections, right? That he knows later on he may have to kill them, or, you know, or whatever the situation is in the remainder of the series, or he has to do things that he doesn't like, or, you know, because the whole game is Hunger Games, you know, for the series. So it's like, it's kind of interesting to watch Carl, that is the good, and then the survival Carl that is amplified based on Donut. But the human Carl, the good Carl, it's always winning because he keeps, like you guys said, like, you will not break me. And at the same time, there's a piece of me that's like, I wonder when is he going to get broken? But that is in future books, so we don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
I also feel like that is also like foreshadowing, right? It's foreshadowing that he's not the perfect person that doesn't have a past. And so I'm interested to see how that unfolds too. But I mean, we all have done things, I'm sure, that you regret, and, you know, but also we have to learn that is how we grow, and we all make mistakes, and we all listen to things, or, you know, it's human nature to sometimes jump into things with emotion and making hasty decisions sometimes.
Do you think right now in this book he's doing everything for his optimal survival, for the strategy, for his gameplay?
What do you think, Callie?
I think that he's still trying to figure it out. In book one, even as I'm going down through the series, he's still trying to figure it out. Right now, it seems very surface. And as you get through book one, you realize how much more political it is, and how high it does go, right? Yeah. And so he's just such a great character because he does have the ability to stay present and sort of like, let's just do the next right thing. Let's just do the next thing. You know, it's very quest based, very mission based, which is the sort of speaks to that, like the video game element of this book. So, you know, trying to stay present, not get too far ahead. Mordecai's only giving him so much, right, at a time. Then Zev, you know, is disclosing more and more. He gets a little bit from Odette at the end. And so he's just kind of picking up these little nuggets of information. And then I think he's like evolving, right? He's like, okay, it's not just enough for us to survive. We actually have to like keep evolving our strategy. So that's kind of
well, because the AI in the system, right, will also, like, because they keep announcing, like, we know you guys figured out this, but we're not going to allow you to use this power anymore. And so, like, it's always trying to actively change to kill them, so they have to keep evolving, or else the system will take over and they won't survive.
For sure.
So do you think the dungeon is explicit to the galaxy's reality show? Like, survival depends on entertainment value as much as combat skills, right? So what real world system, reality show, social media gigs, or gig economies do you see being satirized in the story?
I mean, obviously, like Survivor, I was a huge Survivor fan for at least like the first 20 seasons or so. And you saw, like, you would assume, oh, survival of the fittest, the strongest win. And that didn't necessarily become that. It was people's ability to connect, people's ability to communicate, a little bit of devious planning and mischief, but not necessarily strength plays a role, which kind of goes back to the donut thing, because yes, her maybe intelligence is very childlike, as we said, but she has a lot of charisma. So it's, what is it called? The Dunning-Kruger effect, where you can speak about a topic you know nothing about, but if you speak about it with authority, then people will believe you, right? Yeah. I think she kind of benefits from that a little bit.
The system AI speaks with tons of authority. Even so, if we're reflective of today, Claude, ChatGPT, dude, I could buy into whatever they're saying. Like, oh, such authority, you know, like, how could this lie? Even though there are stories of like Claude not Claude, but Kronk, Elon Musk's AI, being extremely racist and things like that. It's like, and at the same time, a lot of people have mentioned, like, this is what happens when you put crap in and this is the crap out you get. And it's just like interesting of that, crap and you speak with such authority. So
Yeah.
to me, there's a piece of me that thinks the system AI is either a good guy or a bad guy, but not necessarily neutral. Like, you want system AI to be neutral, but I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is. And also, I think like this is a total prediction, but not based on anything I've already read. I think its obsession with Carl's feet is going to be its ultimate undoing, because
it's a running gag, right?
It has no chill when it comes to Carl's feet. Like,
they're always poking fun at his feet and his wearing the undersized pink Crocs of his ex.
Yep.
Yeah. and they do that because it also knows it bugs him too. So like it bothers him, and that does give the AI more personality just beyond, like the computer. But I do think that they also talk about with the show that they're putting on across the universe that it's basically they always take the most stereotype version of that planet and they're using those stereotypes and those like general things they see through media and stuff to explain, hey, this is to the viewers, this is this planet, and this planet did all of these things, and these people are dumb and they are all obsessed with, whatever. And so it is taking the most like stereotyped, satirized version of humans and projecting that out to the audience. And that's why I think that Carl stands out so much, because he's none of that cliche. He's not a bro guy, and he's not out for himself. So it's very different than what they're trying to project as humanity.
Okay, about the sponsorships in the book, right? Do we right now on reality TV, do we have like people, like contestants being sent stuff? We haven't been to the route where it is like Hunger Games reality TV. I really hope it does not ever reach that point.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, do we have anything like that? Like, like I could barely imagine if Survivor or Amazing Race or something, right? Like these characters are beloved through the crowd because we can now get real-time data of like who's watching, blah, let alone give sponsorship. Like
my other cousin 80s Amy, she's obsessed with Big Brother, and she watches the live feeds and stuff, so she gets that all the time. So yeah, you can watch all of those things and see it all, but it's also produced though. There are people behind the scenes that are trying. The difference with the live feeds, I was just talking to her last night about it. The difference between the live feeds is there's less producer interaction on the live feeds, because you're just seeing everyday things, whereas when there's producers and things are edited for the actual shows that are weekly, they can create a character persona. And so watching the live feeds it actually gives you a more of a glimpse into what it is. And that's like when they do that show the wrap up like every day about like what's happened and to the players out there, right, in the book. And it's very sensationalized. There's like, they show a clip of like people getting wiped out by a blob monster, and like they show these things and then they go back and say them. And that is very media. That is what we do a lot, like sensationalism. If it bleeds, it leads in news. So I do think that is there. But as far as sponsorship right now, the equivalent to it, I just think, is that the better a show does, the better commercials they get, and that's more money for the show. So that is a sponsorship. It's not the same as Hunger Games or as in Dungeon Crawler, where it's like you're sponsored, so you get, a bow and arrow in Hunger Games, right? Like you get fruit or something. But I do think there is a parallel. It's just not the same right now. But also sometimes when you see people in some reality shows, they're not blurring out everything they're wearing and all of the different stuff they're doing. So they are even if they're not technically sponsored, they're sponsoring a brand. So they're branding themselves and aligning themselves with the brand.
I think on a smaller scale, if we even go 2, 3 tiers below, like big media entertainment reality shows, even look at influencers. Like, I don't know if you guys use Instagram. That's sort of my sort of social media of choice, being the millennial I am.
Yeah.
But it's like, why are all these influencers trying to sell me this red light mask that makes me look like Michael Myers? Like, what? Like,
I get that too.
Everybody's like athletic greens. Everybody's like peptides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I work at a birth center, and we do have some influencers that kind of come in every now and then, and they're always bringing in these little oat cookies. And
For the lactation cookies.
yeah, there's like these branded, like, ooh, like whole grain oats. And I was like, oh, this must be like the free box that they got, right? That they're trying to like just
Push
peddle
out,
off.
yeah.
Yeah, probably.
They got it for free. Influencers get a ton. You have more followers, you get more things for free.
You're right.
So it's kind of like the peddling to the masses.
And they open those boxes, right?
Exactly, which is why I have a very hard time with like that part of social media, because it feels so disingenuous. It's like, do you really use this red light mask, or are you doing a little Botox here and there?
Yeah.
Which is like, no shame, I don't care, just be honest with me.
Yeah, just don't try to sell me something like snake oil if you're actually using Botox. That's cool. Yeah.
So, next question. The Burnout Corporation is framed as bankrupt and politically compromised rather than a mustache twirling evil. Did the Bana Corporation villainy feel more or less unsettling than the traditional antagonists?
Okay, so this was such a great question because the mustache twirling is so well written. It's, for me, it's very simple. They're in a position of desperation. Desperation makes people do very terrible things.
Yeah.
And so it feels unsettling, not in the way of like,
Yeah.
like they're trying to save themselves too.
In a
Right?
way, they're crawling through the dungeon too, right?
They're crawling through their own. And it's like, how much will they sacrifice? What will they do to survive themselves? So that is like the unsettling and probably a little bit more of a darker element.
Yeah, because they start speeding things up and changing things and making it so, as they become more desperate as the book goes on. And that affects Donut and it affects all the characters. And so that desperation sometimes reminds me of some politics too, like where you're like, is this really a strategic move or are you just trying to get votes? Like, you know, that's so, but I like the way you put that, Callie.
Honestly, I didn't really care for the Burnout Corporation, but like Callie, when you were talking about that, I'm thinking about like Joanne's fabric existed and when they got sold to private equity and now it's gone. You know what I mean? That's what I'm all thinking, like, that's sad. You know, like this is like there's a vacuum and it's like all these displaced crafters can't go shopping, like, because
you have to buy them online and stuff now. Like it's totally different. Yeah.
Special interest lobby gives politicians millions, and that means the politician is not serving the will of the people anymore, which that is what their job is. They can serve their constituents. They're now serving the will of private equity. Yes. So it's like everybody's got a boss, right? You can hate Burnout all you want, but they've got a boss too that they're sort of pushing up against. And so it's kind of like, how high does this go?
Yeah. I want to share you guys a story about, speak of lobbyists, because I'm just like, this just came up. When I was a kid, I definitely remembered, and this is elementary school, that my teacher said, like, yeah, lobbyists are not for the will of the people. They serve something else. And I was like, and so like equivalent to me as lobbyists are bad people, you know, not necessarily they're coming out to kill your babies or anything, like just like they don't serve a good intention. And then fast forward, I met my first lobbyist when I was like 23, 25 or something. This dude is totally chill. Like and I was hitchhiking with my friend around Orcas Island.
Hiking?
Yeah.
Crazy.
He was so nice. And I'm all like, how can it be, you know, like my 8-9-year-old brain now translates to this, you know, adult 23, 25-year-old body is like, wow, he's so nice. How can he be a lobbyist? You know, this dude picked us up on the street because we desperately needed a ride. When he told me, like, oh, yeah, I'm a lobbyist for blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. You know, like, in my back of my head, I'm all like, are you a bad person?
Yeah, there probably was a disconnect there because you were like thinking, this person's so nice, they helped me. And then you're like, oh no, it's a lobbyist. You're like, have we gotten into the car with a murderer?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Is it Ted Bundy in the car?
Yeah, exactly.
Does he have a mustache? Is he twirling it?
I know. Yeah. Well, and I think that that's true with a lot of things, right? There's stereotypes of drug dealers, you know, and you're like, and then you may have met someone who's like, and you're like, well, you're not scum of the earth, but you're also poisoning people. So like, you know, there is that you kind of have to realize that there's both realities. There's a reality that a person can be nice and also could be still doing things that are unscrupulous for their own benefit.
Okay. Sorry, another side question. Do you think the devil is nice or mean?
In real life? Like, is this
in your interpretation? If let's say you met the devil, like if you happen to cross by,
I'm just gonna tell you that my incarnation of the devil is based on the song "The Devil Went Down to Georgia," and it's also based on the greatest song in the world.
Yes.
by Jack Black's band. So to me, like, it's just like some jokester trickster who's trying to get you to sell your soul, but doesn't really actually understand humanity. That's me, but
my limited understanding of theology is that, you know, Lucifer, the devil, he's a fallen angel, right? So he was serving at the side of the king, but started to serve his own self-interest, right? So, but also, I'm with you, Cousin Jen. I was like, the devil went down to Georgia. So, what? Do I think the devil's good or bad? No, but I think he's going to make me play guitar for my life.
You can tell we grew up around each other. We're both like, obviously. And also, like, my connection with church a lot of times is I went to church, like, to rebel against my parents who were like hippy dippy spiritual. So to me, the devil was more of just like something that would be in folk songs and different things like that than actually like biblically learning about like hell or Dante's Inferno or anything like that. But what do you think, Jen?
I think the devil would probably be a charming lobbyist. Like,
you think so?
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't necessarily like. There's a piece of me that there is him. Okay, the definition of evil can go anyway. Everybody has their interpretation of what is evil, right? Yeah. But we do know for a fact what is bad. But evil is something else. And to me, the devil, if he wants more followers and stuff like that, he's basically an snake oil salesman, you know, like,
oh yeah, it's about greed. But
I don't think it's about greed. I think it's about persuasion. Like, this is what people do to persuade you to be on their side, is they sweeten up their tone, whatever their look, whatever it could be.
The snake with the apple.
Yeah. And I'm all thinking like, this is human beings' own free will to say yes or no to this. You know, you can be as logical as you can be, you know, do your little analysis of your purchase, whether he's not really forcing you to play the guitar for your life. You did choose to play the guitar for your life, you know, like he just put some charms.
Be screwed. I can't play the guitar. I mean, Callie's son plays music. I want to play the guitar. But I mean, that would be my version of the devil went down to Georgia. I would have a guitar and there would be like a guitar.
Would you play it for your life?
Instrumental sound off. Well, I mean, heck, I think that if I like, would you do a dance off with the devil?
Fuck no. I know he's going to win. I know for a fact. There's no way.
I am not a trained dancer by any means, but I feel really good with my sweet moves. So I probably would, because I'm not the trained dancer. I'm not going to bust out ballet. I'm going to bust out the Roger Rabbit. And that is...
Dude, he's probably like, girl, I made up those moves. Let me one you up. That's why I know for
literally did the kid and play on Friday nights. I went to a friend's 50th birthday party and she had a DJ and I was like, I'm doing the kid and play right now on this dance floor. And so like, that's, you bring your heart, you bring your funk with it. I think that would be the demise of the devil. But this is a very interesting theology. Yeah, but people are tempted by different things and persuaded, and that definitely the boring they're definitely persuaded by money. They're losing their company. And obviously if a company is producing a show like this, it's not about the good of the world and of the universe. It's not about protecting people.
Yeah, because they've just wiped out already like a billion people on Earth, allegedly.
And they've done this in other planets. So this is not the first time that it has happened in other galaxies. So, which ironically, the parallel that I find with that is America's Next Top Model, which we did have an episode where we talked about it. But like just the fact that all of the shady shit that they did on that show and like really bad, basically inferring that someone being assaulted is like them cheating. All of those kind of things, like they used that stuff to get money for commercials and production. And so it's not that far from some things. That show ruined some people's lives. Yeah. And this corporation is literally killing people. So I think it's all evil. I feel bad for them. There is this weirdness that the author does where you're like, oh, poor Boran. They're broke. We're all broke. We get it. Things are expensive. And then I'm like, why am I thinking that? No, like they're a bad company.
In my head, I'm all like, System AI, you don't know the concept of money. You don't need anything to survive. Come on, man. Like...
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Everybody's got a boss.
I guess.
Yeah,
boss.
We all got to get paid, So
there's some parallel as we're kind of discussing this and pulling the layers back. There's some kind of parallel to like the behind the scenes. Everybody's boss has a boss, but then all the bosses within the actual dungeon itself, right? We have like the neighborhood boss, the city boss, the borough boss, right? So it's like, how
like
big are these bosses going to be? Yeah. And then how high does this corruption go? Like there's like some kind of parallel there that
you're right.
It'll be interesting to see how they sort of negotiate that in future books.
Yeah.
I also think like with the bosses themselves, they make like that one boss that's basically like a conglomeration of different things, but she's like crying and doesn't really seem to want to be fighting them. But they have to fight her to survive. And that's a really interesting, idea too, like being pushed to do that because you can't control what's happening. And then you having to make the moral decision of like, this thing really doesn't want to be doing this, but it is designed to kill me. So I have to decide, even though it is unwillingly doing this, what is the most moral decision I can make.
Yeah.
And you have to do that in the like minutes that stuff's happening. Things catch on fire and stuff flying around. So, and that's what I do love, that fantasy video game vibe from it. Very Metroid-y sometimes. I think that, which at first when Callie explained the book to me, I was like, I'm not really a gamer. Like I am really good at Mortal Kombat. I can kick my son's
Mortal Kombat. do.
Exactly. Kind of like I'm always rated. And my son got so mad the first time we bought it and we were playing it. And Corey's like, you don't know what you're doing, man. And I'm just like, yeah, finish him. So
I love that game so much.
It's the only game though, like that and Pac-Man, that I can like, kick someone's ass with. But yeah, I was like, well, I'm not a gamer per se. I'm not like on the computer all the time gaming, but this is more like the fun original campy kind of gaming infused in it. It's just it's really kind of a crazy way that they connect all the things, because as bizarre as it sounds, it's still believable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it still points out a lot of different things about humanity and survival. So I really like that part of the book. So I'm glad you brought that up, Callie.
So this book is a light RPG, stats class, achievements, pop-ups, and baked on prose. Did you mentioned that this book didn't video games do not typically pull you in, but did the game mechanics framing pull you into the story, or did it pull you out? Like, this question's for the both of you guys.
Completely in.
It definitely pulled me in, because I used to play Halo in college with my college homies. And so achievements and stuff would pop up all the time. And we used to do LAN parties back in the 2000s.
Oh my God.
And so we would have a house where we all had our LAN and we would connect up together to play. And so we would be shouting from different rooms, like, yeah, I got the flag. And like, because we're big nerds and I love it. But so that for me was very relatable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It in the book, as I mentioned earlier, with the actual like physical page turning book, it bolds it. So it's such a nice break for your eyes, because sometimes you could just be like scanning the narrative, sometimes even just scanning for dialogue. But the fact that it's like bold, new achievement, it kept me into the story in a lot of ways. And I'm not a gamer at all. My husband's a gamer. I'm not. It just doesn't appeal to me. No shade. It's just not my thing.
Right.
But I am a type A personality. And so for me, it's like, I did something. Where's my reward? It's very transactional, right?
Yeah.
So it's like they beat the elemental. Okay, what are the boxes gonna be? Like, them, right?
Right, the sponsor's giving them, and
it's like, oh my gosh, they beat that huge boss. Those boxes are going to be sweet. And then it really keeps you going throughout, because they can't open the box unless they're in that sort of safe room. So it's like they've got to get to it. And it's just, that's the page turning quality of this, is just like, okay, well, now here's what they have. And now what are they going to do with it? And then so satisfying.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I am not a gamer as well, but I have played a lot of Zelda, and I have promised myself to finish the game. That's my quest of life. If I start a game, I'm going to finish it, right? Because
you and Sam should talk about it. Sam's on a Zelda kick.
Oh yeah, it's great. So, like how they describe, like when they meet the bosses and stuff, it just reminded me of so many Zelda bosses, the mini bosses, the major bosses, to move up to the levels, which it's kind of nostalgic to me, because okay, so how I play games,
old Nintendo, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, how I play games is I cannot figure out the life of me how to get to the boss. I don't even know how I stumble into one, because you can be trapped in this game for 10 years sometimes. Like, it just feels like if you cannot get out, you're stuck. And I always have to get YouTube, like, to show me how to
tutorials.
I'm like, I don't want to spend the next 3 weeks in level 3 and cannot get out. Like, I need to get out in 3 days.
Did you ever get those guidebooks back in the 90s?
I would borrow it from my guy friends and be like, I can't figure this out. I am so frustrated. And button mashing, like, it's hard for me I love button mashing. And that only works on, like, Mortal Kombat.
That's
Street
why I love it, because Mortal
Fighters,
Kombat is button mashing.
Smash Bros, something like that. Yeah. But if it's like a RPG game, I'm so fucked. You can't button mash. You're just like, you just have to linger in this world for a long time. And then when you make it to that boss, right? Even though my default is button mashing, but there's a technique, it's so frustrating. And again, I have to watch the tutorials, like, how did this guy beat him? And it's like, most of the time I'm looking at like the lowest level of their player, because they played the game probably like 5 times, and they're just recording like, oh, he only has basic stuff, and this is how this person was able to advance beating this boss. So there's this nostalgia, but man, it's just like there's a little bit of me that was like a little bit stressed out when they were going into the boss fights, just because I'm all like, even though I know, because there's a lot of time in the book, that they're going to advance, right? It's not like if it's going to be like 5 minutes till the book ends, I'll be like, oh no, they didn't make it, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's, you know, where my brain went immediately. My not diagnosed, but probably confirmed ADHD brain went with that whole situation was, did you ever have a game genie?
Yes.
what's a game genie?
Oh,
Jennifer, your brother, my
Yes.
other cousin.
Yes.
We lived for his game genie. We lived
Yes.
for it.
Because his game genie basically let you hack the game.
What is this magic? What is this? Like,
He
A
would put it-
cartridge. So it's
Yeah.
a cartridge that goes on a cartridge.
uh-huh.
You put it in and it takes you to the screen and you get like 3 or 4 or 5 codes. And then you have this book, right?
Yes.
Of the codes. It's like a 6-digit code. And so, for example, Super Mario 3, I think it was, we would be like infinite lives, always be the flying raccoon.
Oh, yes. Always.
Um, right, like exactly. And so
you had
could do that.
flower power.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Oh my
Yep,
God.
and that would give you basically automatic power-ups to get to the end,
Mhm.
which is probably one of the only games I have had a participating role in actually helping to beat. Thanks to
game genie.
brother. He really, he turned us on to the game genie and we just were like, oh my gosh, they're so cool.
Yeah, it's like nowadays where people do different coding and stuff to, like, you know, give different advantages in a game.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the commercials for the game genie were real cool too. So just so you know.
So, do you think this book was balanced? Like the tragedy and the fun adventure? Like, what the total
Yeah.
of the book? Did you feel it was balanced, or was it just like,
Balanced. I like it. I think it feels balanced, which is why I keep kind of coming back. They pull you in with that dark comedy. They, it's gallows humor. You have to be okay with poking fun at a really like atrocious situation.
Yeah.
And so maybe for not all personalities, this isn't going to be a good fit, but for me, it was very well balanced of like missions, achievements, like personal stories, because you start getting little glimmers into Carl's background, Mordecai's background, and just, and which is why it's like, I can't wait to start the 5th, but I'm trying to like just sort of
contain yourself? Yeah.
enjoy it slowly, because you only get to read a book series for the first time, one time, and I really want to savor it.
Yeah.
Make it a slow burn.
Yeah.
I think it's balanced. I agree. I really thought, to me, there's just enough action and there's just enough humanity and humor and pop culture references that, to me, it keeps me engaged.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jen?
I think it was balanced too. The thing that I really applaud the author the most is the pop culture reference. So he is really dead set, and I feel he knows his demographic, or maybe he has a vision of his demographic, his readers, right? But the pop culture references was very, like, it's a nice twist and stuff. The other thing that I find it very interesting now, hearing Callie saying, like, of the reading experience, that somebody is really thinking about user experience in book reading, because we are of the time of standard prints, it's going to be Roman font regardless, and just long breaks, and I think like he is very aware of that experience, and I seriously applaud him. But yes, it is very balanced. Do you guys have any favorite scenes or favorite characters you love besides, your boyfriend Carl, my lover Mordecai? But I do have other favorite people as well. But do you have any favorites, favorite scenes, favorite characters?
That's a tough one.
I know I really like Odette.
Yeah, why?
I think it's because I went to school for broadcast journalism and I worked in TV. So like the way she is as a host, and I just see a lot of just a lot of commonality there with what I saw when I worked in TV.
Mm-hmm.
I envision her, and it's probably because I worked on a random show for a defunct network that was called Fox Reality.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a show on there that was hosted by Kennedy from MTV,
Mm-hmm.
who now is like a reporter anchor, I think, for maybe Fox, I don't know, but she was the reporter, she was the anchor of this kind of show where they interviewed people, and there was like, and that's the way Odette reminds me of that. Like, there is like someone you want to align with, someone you want to be cool, but you know they also may have a different agenda, and because you're not just making this show to be cool, you're making it for money, and you're making it to keep money, you have to keep the network happy.
Yeah. Callie?
I love all the loot boxes. Like, my love language is gift giving. So I was like giving all the gifts. Like, that just really, and as weird as this might sound, that second show that they go on.
Oh, the blurb, the prince.
The blurb, yeah.
That
And
show
like
is good,
with
yeah.
the, oh my gosh, I can't remember like the sort of race of the species or like the culture. I can't remember their name right now, but they go on that and Carl clocks it like right away. He's like, oh, they want to make us look a certain way, and he really kind of pushes back on that in a way too.
That was a great scene.
Which ultimately to his demise, because they end up making that sex tape with the prince of the nation. So
it's a fake one, by the way. It's not.
It's a fake. It's a fake, yes. But then that, that speaks to the power of AI, right?
Yeah.
And is like, is this going to be a reality, like in our own sort of our time, our society and culture? So, but I just love how it just totally destabilizes Carl. Like, oh, God, like he gets so destabilized by these things.
So, like, the thing, speaking about AI, like because, okay, when I picked up this book, so it was like, what, May, June, something of this year, when he talks about the AI, it really felt like it's the problems of today at this moment, right? Even though his books were around, this book was published in 2021?
2020 self-published, mass market 2024.
So, yeah.
Self-published first. That's awesome.
Which, being self-published is like, that's great. And being picked up
is hard after when you're after that. Yeah.
But even so, like, the sophistication of the AI, I'm all like, man, it's so spot on, like how he described it. And I'm all like, how could you have seen this in, maybe he was working on this in like 2019, 2020, whatever, right? Before he self-published. I'm all like, this is such the personality right now of today's AI. And I wonder if he has foresight, it's like, is he clairvoyant about that? Like, one of the characters I do like and is the system AI, because it's how crazy it is, and how like there are moments of tender moments where like the AI is like really
like
nice.
Zev?
No.
Is that? No, just the AI.
Zev is
their PR person, right?
Yeah. And there are moments when it's like, it's very condescending, and like I said, I think the system AI is not necessarily a good guy. And there's a piece of me that thinks like, it may be just the bad guy, period. But at the same time, like,
happening from that, the Matrix was created by the AI kind of spiel.
Yeah, and like the motivation of the AI, but I think in later books, the AI will be something else. I think, I'm assuming. That was interesting. But what I actually really enjoyed is the scene where Carl teams up with the nursing home people. It's Metal Arc, right? The
Metal Arc, yeah.
And just meeting Brandon and Chris and Yolanda and Imani, like it's like, and then all the old people. Like, it's just, to me, I'm all thinking like, wow, like in this insane world, there are two kids that are really looking out for the other, and they want to contain the community. And they don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to do it. And it's like, which yields into like, Carl deciding to help them. But like, I thought that was like the best thing about the human I guess that I'm not saying like the human experience, but like that human connection and how important it is. And it's like it could be such a small inspiration that you see from afar to finally like join in and be like, yes, I'm going to do this because this is the right thing. And this is now going to be a piece of me. And that's what I liked was the nursing home scene of that.
Yeah. I liked that on the reread because the Meadowlark community, they continue to kind of play varying roles in the future books. So obviously things go on and there's no spoilers, but being able to meet them again, to be like, oh my gosh, this is when we got to meet them. Kind of having that dramatic irony of knowing what happens and how it unfolds. You're like, oh, Brandon and Chris, like, and you and Imani, like, oh, you know, even Agatha, that crazy lady with the shopping cart.
I was just gonna say, I love Agatha. Like,
I want to be her for Halloween.
I
Like,
would
no one
love
wants
to be her. You can definitely be Agatha. I love her. I literally had just looked up her information while you guys were talking because I think there's obviously more to Agatha, and that, you know, she's basically her shopping cart, her spray paint. She has a plastic pink flamingo, and I have pink flamingos in my front yard. So,
like, this is just a prediction. Like, I think Agatha might be one of the last players in the game.
There's something fishy going on with
Agatha. I don't know if she's like this undercover sleeper agent, you know, because she could be.
I mean, the fact that she gets to have a ramp instead of stairs is a sweet advantage.
Do you guys remember any of the powers they accrued or anything that would you like to have in real life? Or any upgrades?
Gosh, so I mean, I think it's hilarious that the funny part kind of towards the end when they get on that second talk show and they give him, oh, here, Carl, here's a pair of boots.
Oh, yeah.
And he knows he can't put them on because it will totally take away all of his feet powers, right? So it's like, no, he can't. The whole book, all he wants is a pair of pants and a pair of boots. And he finally gets them and realizes, oh, this is what I have to be. I have to be barefoot with knee pads and heart boxer. Like, this is who I am now. So, yeah.
Jen, do you remember or?
I think that Agatha has a power of where she is not recorded. Things are not recorded when Agatha is around. She's kind of stealthy, and that is something that I would want to be able to like kind of just, you know, stay off the radar.
I don't really remember, besides the clothes, Carl's upgrades for his. I remember the toe shield one. That was like kind of nice for him. That was a nice for him. But anything that really stood out to me was, you know what? I did not understand charisma, like how important charisma is, and even in the actual games outside of this world, but in actual like regular games, I'm just like, what? There's a charisma point? Like, I am aware that probably Sims has something like that, but I don't think of other games that have charisma points.
Have you played Dungeons and Dragons?
I thought that was just a card game.
It is, but it's a card game, right? It's a game. But it has charisma points. Like, you build your character.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so there's charisma points in there. So you could have, and like your job that you choose, or your kind of like, there's different like races, and then there's different like, you know, so like I'm usually what's it called? The person that plays the guitar and is like all kind of jovial and stuff, and a bard.
Like a minstrel?
A bard. It's like, but it's like a minstrel. Yeah. But a bard does a little more karaoke style of it, which is very me. And so, you know, but yeah, so your charisma points might be this, but you're physically more strong. And Sam chooses one that's like this dragon style, and they have fire, but some of the intelligence is lower. So like those are, so to me, And I know there's other games like Dungeons and Dragons, like Warhammer and stuff, that I haven't played, but that's where I figured the charisma points were from, because that's literally the way that game has it.
Yeah, that was so interesting to me because all I like think about, because okay, do you remember playing games like even in Street Fighters, if you don't engage to the other opponent, the opponent would like go to sleep, or you see stars in their head because they're bored or whatever. And that's what in my head, for some reason, that's what I'm thinking, is this charisma? You know, like.
Yeah, I think the charisma part of things, and this is like, I'm not a huge D&D player at this time. I play occasionally and I'm trying to learn it to be a cool mom, but
things you do for your kids.
Teach my kid to be a nerd. I think for that, it's like, everything has an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So charisma helps you smooth things over. And that's the way it is in the book. And that's the way it is in D&D. Whereas, smarts will help you find a new way to do something, and strength and health. So it's more than being able to just sneak around a boss and not wake them up. It's also being able to, like in the game, when they're talking about, I don't know, there's all these different like trolley kind of things and stuff, but there's different ways you can trick them into doing something or talk to them. And Donut definitely can like woo people with her charisma.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost hypnotic.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just alluring, and you want to listen to it, and you want to do what they're saying. So that's the way that I think that charisma is in the book.
Interesting. Okay. So, closing questions. Do you think this book is for women, or why should women be interested on reading this book?
I think this book is truly for everybody. I have a 14-and-a-half-year-old son. I think it's a little graphic for my liking in terms of having him read it maybe in a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's for everybody, honestly. I think it's helped me understand why my husband likes to play video games so much. Like, oh yeah, there is a lot of like interesting play here, and like, that excitement of advancing. It's for everybody. It's like socio-political. It speaks to current topics. It's, again, my favorite capable man trope, right?
Yeah.
Like, this could be a great primer for women who are like, what is a capable man? And it could be a primer for men. How might I become more capable?
Yeah.
Like in general. So I truly think it's for everyone. Obviously, there's some salacious stuff that for kids, maybe not necessarily, maybe high teens, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Young adults and above, maybe.
Yeah.
I know I want Sam to read it, but it's out of his range right now. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
totally.
this is a little too adult, but
Yeah, I thought looking at this book, this is for men.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
for men. It's told from the perspective of a man. Like,
It's got,
I'm not a man
video game
hater or
pictures.
anything, but it's like, I like to hear female voices because they're not typically amplified.
Right.
We are always hearing from men.
right.
And so it's kind of like, I don't know if this is for me, but it's not. It legit is for everyone, especially, the romantic girlies out there. I have 3 of my very good friends. They are all into the Akotar, Sarah J. Maas, and I'm just like, please, I just think you'll like it so much. Like,
There's no steamy scenes, but it is, I have to agree. Like, for anybody
engaging.
in the romance fantasy, this book it's a nice break from it, because like girls or besties, Fourth Wing has a lot of steamy scenes that you have to clutch your purses, or you can't be listening to this book while you're at Costco shopping because it's just too steamy.
Mm-hmm.
This book, Dungeon Crawler, does not have those books that make you in awkward situations where you're fantasizing about other things, but it is a nice.
There's some light cursing, but
Yeah.
other than that, it's not gonna embarrass you if your Bluetooth turns on.
And it won't turn your body hot. So
It won't turn you on,
Yeah.
so it's okay.
I mean, speak for yourselves, ladies. Carol doesn't
I know she's like thinking about Carl in his boxers. So
We were talking about, okay, what do we need? A sleeveless leather jacket. We need some knee pad. We need some white boxers with red hearts on them. Like,
The whole
Oh my gosh. If you're Agatha and Doug is Carl for Halloween, they do couples costumes a lot and they're
so
amazing.
niche.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, I agree too. This book is, even though, like Callie said, the cover does not say for women, but it is really a good read for everybody as well.
And Callie had brought up that she read that the aliens on Maple Street, right? The Twilight Zone book story script. This reminds me of sci-fi too.
Yeah.
And as a sci-fi fan and a huge Twilight Zone fan, I love Twilight Zone because Twilight Zone points out the problems of society. It puts a magnifying glass on them, but it doesn't do it in a way that pisses everybody off. And this is doing the same thing. And I truly appreciate it for that reason.
So Jen, tell me what's going on with wedding planning.
With wedding planning right now? Well, this is adjacent to wedding planning, but it's important. I did touch on it earlier. I went dancing on Friday night. I danced for 3 hours straight.
How did you feel?
I did not injure myself. I don't feel crappy. So this is a huge thing. Anyone who knows, last year at this time, I had a lot of health problems. And so to be able to just bust a move and also, kind of like just feel my body and just enjoy that and the music, it gave me hope because I literally just last week I told Corey, I was like, I don't even know how much we're gonna dance at the wedding because I was being very dramatic. And I was like, because I'm just frustrated, like being in your 40s and having health stuff and different things, like feeling like you're falling apart. Dance is something I really love, and not, like I said, I'm not a ballet dancer, but I just love feeling the music. And so to be able to do that again gives me hope for the wedding, and it makes me want to go dancing more. I think I want to plan an 80s dance night as preparation.
Is this why you said you would dance against the devil? Oh my God.
This is why.
Nice.
I would dance against the devil because the spirit of music
compels you.
Compels me to overcome the devil.
Nice. Yes.
I would have a dance off with the devil. And I believe I would win.
I love this.
What about you, Jen? How is the infamous job hunt?
Meh. Okay, so besties, those who are on the job hunt themselves can totally relate to this because I'm kind of like a little bit upset. So yesterday I was checking my email. Yesterday was Saturday. Today's Sunday, right? As the order of things go. I get a rejection letter on the weekend. I'm all like, what fucking recruiter is working on the weekend? I know it's not a recruiter. That means, therefore, in my head, they never saw my resume. They just, in the ATS, whatever, they saw it when I applied, and they're just going to reject you during the weekend. And even though like a lot of job influencers who are like asking you job seekers to pay for their services to help your resumes, whatever, they may work out, they may not work out, but I remember a lot of them strongly said, was like, no, the human is rejecting you, not the ATS, not the AI. I'm all like, no, I really strongly believe.
Keep saying that.
Yeah, I'm all like,
that's not true.
I feel now it's like a bunch of horse shit at this point.
A lot of it's come out even where they've seen like in work days. It's a lot more AI driven than human driven.
Yeah. So
also, if we want to have like hope for humanity, you would hope that people who are working in HR, and I know people who work in HR that are wonderful people, that they are not just sending out emails on Saturdays to reject you. So if anyone says, yeah, a real person's doing this, a real person's pressing a button and saying, go through this AI.
Yeah,
but that's as much as it is.
Rejections on Saturday mornings. That's what it is. Welcome to your weekend type of deal. So
like sucks so much.
So yeah, that's my job hunt experiencing right now. How is your burnout meter? Is it dead, exhausted, surviving, content, or thriving? And Callie, please join us on this.
Yes, please. I think that my burnout meter, well, it's kind of tricky. I'm burned out in some ways, and because, like I said, because I was dancing, I feel alive in some ways too. So I will say surviving because of dancing. That's what I will say.
Because
Yeah,
you're
what about
dancing
Callie?
against
What
the
about
devil,
you?
man.
I know. I'm dancing against the devil for my life, guys.
I would say for me right now, because it's Sunday, so I would say like content.
Mm-hmm.
Like content is that one of the things
Yeah.
I'm content. But you hit me up on like a Wednesday or a Thursday, and I'm like in survival mode.
Yeah, you're like fried.
Because it's like I'm fried. I've had, and I work at a birth center, so a lot of high emotions, excitement. It's an amazing space. And I will say, in your job hunt, Jen, if you can work for a female-led space, my gosh, my whole life has changed working for a female-led space. All females, female leadership is all female. It's just such a beautiful type of experience to work there. It doesn't mean it's not hard, and there are days that are really tricky.
Yeah.
But it's like a little peek into the matriarchy takeover that hopefully we're coming up on here. I highly recommend it. 10 out of 10. Work for women.
Okay. I'll look that up.
call.
Like, look at women-led businesses. As for me, I would say I want to say I'm content. Like, the weekend was good. This last week was good. I was productive, so I'm content.
That's good.
Generally.
I'm mostly content too. I see.
Yeah. Okay, Jen, how is your female health scale?
It's sky high right now.
So it's a 10?
Because I was dancing, guys.
Nice.
I'm a little sore, but yeah, I would say it's a good 9 right
good
now.
9?
Yeah. What about you?
Well, what about Callie?
We can do Callie first too.
Okay, I'm just saying I'm here for it, Jen. I'm so happy that you feel good. Like, oh my gosh, it's so great. And dancing releases oxytocin. It's our love and bonding. It works so much with your brain to boost. So it's great. For me, I would say like 8 or 9. I'm feeling good. I'm trying to dodge this cyclospora, like scary diarrhea parasite.
Oh, yes.
Gosh, I know.
Oh
I'm
my gosh, yeah.
I fixated on trying to avoid it, but overall I'm feeling good. I started intentionally doing weight training on Memorial Day as my daily workout. I was doing walking primarily, and then because perimenopause, most important thing, bone density, muscle mass.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing. And Dungeon Crawler also has influenced this a little bit because, like, I need these thighs to crack skulls if we're in
You're right, though. I mean, our body is what keeps us going. So that's awesome. I think that's cool. I'll have to hit you up about how you're doing your weight training and stuff, because I need to get into that too.
Right in this particular room as well. Just on the floor.
Just use what you got, right?
What you got?
Nice.
And Jen?
Mine, I have to say I'm an 8. I'm an 8.
Okay.
It's hot. I could do more, but
At least
I'm
you
not.
don't have strep anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have strep. I should be like, I'm a 10, but
If not having strep because strep in the summer is even worse.
Yeah, strep period is worse. Like, I'm just like, besties, if you're at a certain age, just go to the doctor and get antibiotics. Just try to muscle it out. Like, strep sucks, period.
So, Callie, where can we find you?
Yeah, I'm on the socials, as the children say, right? Instagram is my social of choice. Callie loves Callie. And pretty quickly within the first few days of following me, you'll be able to see which way I lean, and a lot of frog content and a lot of Jimothy content.
I love Jimothy. We should talk about Jimothy.
Yeah, let's talk about Jimothy. So yeah, heavy Jimothy content as of late. And I work at an LA County birth center, Pure Birth Center. We are the only accredited birth center in LA. Which means we are really adhered to like a higher standard. It's a safe way to birth for low risk patients. I'm very passionate about autonomy, women's health. All of us are. And so, yeah, I mean, it's the cause I love. I've been a doula for like 15 years now. And this is just another layer to be able to help women get the type of birth and the type of women-centered care that they are wanting.
Yay. Thank you for
Awesome.
sharing
Love
this.
it.
Yeah.
And if you're interested sometime, if you want to come talk about being a doula, or that would, or women's health and
Yeah.
advocating for women, we would love that.
Absolutely.
Rad. Cool.
Thank
Very
you.
Cool.
Jen, where can
our
the besties find us? Yeah.
Our besties can find us on Instagram at life.generally with a J. And that's our handle. And also, you could email us at Google, and that's life generally with a J at google.com or whatever. At Google, you know what. And then also you can follow us on Facebook, and we appreciate, I know that Jen just looked at our Instagram and it looks like we got a lot of new followers. So thanks for doing that, guys. It helps us, keep getting our content out there. And also, like Callie said, I also like awards and ribbons. So it makes me feel like you're paying attention. So thanks.
Yeah. Thank you for seeing us.
Yes.
So, besties, if you want to financially support the show, you can buy us a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/lifegenerally spelled with a J. That is buymeacoffee.com/lifegenerally spelled with a J. And that you can find that information on the show notes. Lastly, if you can't support us financially, and that's okay too, we are all in hard times, you can actually support us by spreading the word about Life Generally. You can either subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, your Spotify, Apple Podcast, whatever, and follow us on our socials like the Instagram Life Generally or on Facebook. But
And also share them.
yes,
If you have an episode you like, share that.
Yeah.
Share the love, guys.
yeah, and if there's an episode that you think your friend may need to hear this, just share it, because nobody needs to be alone about their situation. Here at Life Generally,
exactly.
we are trying to build a community to support each other.
Awesome.
All right, last words. Jen, what are your last words?
My last words. I will say my last words are, it would just be bust a move.
Oh my gosh, I'm just hearing the game. It's music.
Yeah, I know.
Dance Revolution's
but
music, bust moves. Like
I love me some young MC, and but just get out there and enjoy the body that you have. That's my last words for today. What about you, Callie?
yeah.
Last words, Dungeon Carl, Trader Joe's skincare, and weight training, baby.
I'm surprised you didn't say, what was it? The trope.
No.
No,
God,
capable
yeah.
male trope.
Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you guys. Let's do a whole show just on the capable males,
We
please.
can.
Yes,
yeah,
we
would love to
can.
have you back.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can find all the characters, or we'll look them up, I would love to have a discussion about that, because we need some positivity out there. So
We need some real capable men.
yes,
Yes.
for sure. What about you, Jen? What are your final words?
Kill, kill, kill. No, just kidding.
No, Jesus.
Blurp, blurp.
I know. It's blurp, blurp. No, just kidding. My final words is, a book cover isn't always necessarily right. So just give it a chance. Just like we
don't
did.
judge a book by its cover, right? Literally.
Yep. Those are my last words.
Good tip.
All right. Besties, thank you again for Callie, and thank you for listening to Life Generally.
Jen
Squared.